The potential worst fight night of all time is upon us this weekend. And like, the only thing I'm really worried about, like, I looked at the whole card, brother. Who are half of these people? Like, I'm not even trolling. Some of these people I've never even heard of, you know. And I'll be real with the film and all that. I really just looked at the main event. I'll say the whole main card is pretty obvious who's gonna win, in my opinion. My only worry is like, am I gonna lose my 100% main event streak? Like, I'm the only YouTuber, guys, who's still perfect with the main events. And I told you guys I'm gonna finish the whole year perfect. Now, I feel like the main event is obvious to some people. Of course, it's gonna zoom my face back up. Thank you. I think the main event is like obvious to some people, but the more you watch footage, you're like, dude, Moreno's lack of activity could cost him. But as I scrolled through this, like you're gonna see like some familiar faces in the main card. Then after that, like we hit a shift, and then it's like, what's going on here? Just such a oh my god, this card's abysmal. Oh, this card's bad, man. Well, starting off with this banger of a fight, we got Damian Pinas versus Wes Schultz. Wes Schultz used to actually go by Wes Welker back in 2008 and played for the Patriots. Like, who is this guy, man? Who is this guy? But he's going against a pretty solid power puncher in Damian Pinas. I looked into this guy a little bit. This guy's a finisher, man. He has heavy hands, and he gets the finish. He's going against someone who's pretty good. Like, Wes Schultz is not a bot. You know, he's going to go in there. He's going to fight. He's going to go in there and fight and get knocked out. You know, here's the thing about this card. When in doubt, go the ethnic route. Now, I'm saying that to say this. If they're Mexican, pick them. They're probably going to win. And if they're just something, you know, they're giving some flavor. This sounds crazy to say, but trust me, that's how they match make. Like, they might be similar in record, but when I was actually looking at some things of Damian Pinas, he actually looks really good and, like, very heavy-handed. Not really good. I'm gassing it, but he's heavy-handed. So I think Pinas gets it done. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about these nobodies. Next up, Eric Silva versus Francis Marshall. Now, I first looked into Eric Silva. There's like two of them. So I was looking into the wrong guy for the whole time. Then I found the actual Eric Silva. And I'm going to tell you right now, Francis Marshall is designed to win this fight. Supposed to be an easy win for Francis Marshall. He's probably going to get it, go in there and get it done. I don't know where this fight's going to take place majority. Probably on the feet, but they could mix it up. These guys like to wrestle if they need to, and they can strike if they need to. But I do think Francis Marshall gets it done, so I'm going to go Francis Marshall with this one. You know, Eric Silva just look old, don't look good, and I'm going vibe maxing for these early ones. Now, I'm saying I'm vibe maxing, but honestly, I do think Francis Marshall's going to win. Regina Tarin, I believe, pulled out, and it's like a Mexican stepping in on short notice versus Ernesta Carvacantes, but I'm going to go for the Mexican on short notice. I don't know the odds on that. Probably pick him. Then we got this fight. We got Douglas Silva de Andrade versus Javier Reyes. I don't even know. Listen, both guys are like, one guy's experienced and one guy's not. Javier Reyes, I don't know much about him. I know he's just 1-0, and I can only go off the Dana White Contender Series. And he has heavy hands. He's going to swing. He's going to just be active. All I know is this guy looked like he's balding, maybe related to Benil Dariush. I don't know. He looked like him. But I'm going to go Javier Reyes in this one. I just think Javier Reyes via vibe maxing and just he's a little bit more of Mexican spirit, throwing down, swinging. So I'm going Javier Reyes. He's from Colombia, but he's Jack in Mexico for this card. This one, Chris Moutinho is like literally a punching bag. That's what he's good for. I remember when he went to the UFC and started winning, everyone's like, oh my God, Sugar's wins are aging great. And then he just comes back to the UFC, looks still shit. Going against Christian Quinonez. Okay, I'm not going to butcher it, and they're going to just say I'm doing it on purpose. He's going against the Mexican. You guys know how I feel, you know. I'm saying I don't care, guys. Like, I actually think Christian Quinonez could win this one. I feel like his striking is really good. He's always gonna go in there and scrap, and I feel like that's a good thing to do against this guy. He has a chin, yes, but I don't think he has the skills. Chin doesn't win fights. Skills pay the bills, not chin. You know, you don't get applauded for having a good chin. So I do think Christian Quinonez will get it done against Chris. So that's what I'm going with. I just think Christian gets it done. I think it's going to be easy pick'ems. Chris has a good chin, but chins don't win fights. We established that. Now we got a WMMA fight. Alini Perez versus Macy Chiasson. Here's the thing about Macy. I picked her in I think her last two fights, guys. I swear I have. And every single time I'm disappointed for the same reasons. And every single reason it's like she circles too much and just doesn't throw. She fights like she's scared. Now, her length should help her, but it doesn't help her as much as it really should. Because I feel like she's scared to fight. And when it comes, at the end of the day, you're going to fight. And if you're scared, I just feel like you don't have it in you. I have no reason to pick you. Alini Perez is scrappy enough on the feet to close the distance and then start shooting takedown entries. So I think Perez is gonna win, brother. You know, she's probably gonna twerk a little bit on cage. I don't know. I just know she's probably gonna be Macy. I can never pick Macy again. I never will. It is WMMA, so like you never know what could happen. But I just know Macy sucks, and off the knowledge of knowing Macy sucks, I will not pick Macy to win. I don't care how long she is. I don't care about her striking. She doesn't let her hands go for such a long rangy opponent. And Aline Perez at least shows urgency sometimes. So I think Perez should get it done. Easy pickings. Macy sucks, and I'll never pick her again. JDM, the real JDM, you know, versus Ryan Gandra. Ryan's undefeated. I only seen him in Dana White Contender Series, I believe. He put on a great performance. He has heavy hands. I know JDM, Jose Daniel Medina, is known for that chin. You know, last got chinned by Gutierrez, I believe. But like I said, I don't care about his chin. Chins don't win fights. And this is just another case of maybe JDM could survive the early onslaught. I don't know. I'm actually JDM maxing here. Maybe he could survive the early onslaught. I don't know, though. I kind of doubt it. I think Ryan Gandra gets it done. JDM doesn't really have much. Like he's scrappy, but like he just lacks skill. And I feel like people who lack skill and just have good chins, I would never pick them. So I think Ryan gets it done. Maybe knocks him out. He has a good chin, but he tests his chin too much. I don't know if he tests it on purpose or his defensive capabilities just aren't sharp, so he always gets hit. Give me Ryan for the win, brother, and that's a win for Brazil. Here we go. Santiago Luna versus Angel Pacheco. Now, I've seen Luna, and I remember every time I see Luna, I'm actually very impressed with his striking. He's scrappy. I think I last saw him on Noche. I'm not even sure, but I just know he's a scrappy guy. You know, he's undefeated on paper, so that's a good thing. You know, everyone's cool to look at when they're undefeated on paper. But Angel Pacheco is like kind of trash from every time I see him. Like Angel Pacheco never wowed me in a fight. Coming off a loss, Pacheco's just a bot. Look at the way he looks, eh? He looks like Murr from Impractical Jokers. The only real ones understand what I just said right there. But yeah, I'm not picking Pacheco to beat a Mexicano, brother, in Mexico City, brother. Give me Santiago Luna. Might KO this guy. Might KO this fucking ferret. And yeah, I'm going Luna for the win. Next up, Manolo Rodriguez versus Kevin Borjas. Now, this one's actually interesting. I think it's actually close. I believe Emmanuel lost fight in the Dana White Contender Series. This could be like his actual UFC debut. Kevin Borjas, I picked him to win, and he's won before. I've also picked him to win. He's disappointed me before. Kevin's been in there with some decent competition. He's always scrappy, but sometimes he lacks urgency in the early rounds. He tries to make up for it later at times, and that doesn't serve him well. Now, I know Rodriguez, based on his Dana White Contender Series, I feel like he's going to be scrappy. And he has the adrenaline of Mexican City. Like I said, I really feel like a Mexican sleeve is very much possible. This is like on the main card. I feel like this could be competitive if Kevin Borjas shows up as vintage Kevin Borjas. But that's just putting too much trust into Kevin. Kevin can strike. You know, I think he has a good striking flow when he gets into a rhythm. But I think the Mexicano could go in there and disrupt the rhythm with his overly aggressive striking style. And when Emmanuel has you hurt, he'll jump on it. So I think Rodriguez gets it done, brother. So Rodriguez via Mexicano brawling. All right, here's another one. Edgar Chairez, Chairez, whatever, versus Felipe Bunes. Now, Edgar had a good one in UFC Noche. I remember he had a good one. I don't know why I feel like he's fought Van before. I don't know if I'm tripping, but I remember him fighting Van and even hurting him. I don't know if it was Van, though, but I remember him fighting someone scrappy, hurting him. My memory's been so bad lately, but I didn't watch any footage going into this, but I do remember Edgar Chairez and being impressed with his performances. Felipe Bunes, I remember being disappointed in his performances. I vividly remember him watching him, and like he just sucks in like defensive grappling at times, and his striking's just lackluster at times. And I don't know, he just doesn't have the urgency. I think Edgar Chairez has a little bit more urgency. Edgar has the ability to hurt people as well and like put on damage on people, which I value and I rate. And I feel like he has a good chin as well. So I actually do think Edgar gets it done against Felipe. I think Felipe is kind of just like, he's just there. He's one of those flyweights who are just there. He's never really going to, no one knows, think he's going to be a champion. Never really in the talks of being a decent ranked fighter. I think Edgar gets it done. He should get it done in Mexico City. So give me Edgar Chairez. I'm not going to keep butchering that, whatever. Zellhuber versus King Green. Now, I will say this. The odds are a little bit big. And I get why the odds are like kind of like huge favorite on Zellhuber, but Zellhuber's last fight, like what happened, guys? He just didn't want to let his hands go. Like he's so weird. Sometimes I look at fighters, I'm like, you don't even look the same. You know, I feel like Zellhuber might fight to the level of opposition sometimes and just like not trust himself. I don't know, but King Green, if King Green wasn't looking so bad, honestly, in his recent fights, maybe I would like do a risky one here. But King Green does have a habit of like, all right, let me build up a superstar appropriately by walking with my hands down and just getting chinned. And since that since that's just in King Green's nature, brother, I feel like I should just understand how he likes to fight when he go against young people. So I think Zellhuber gets it done in this one. I will say it should be a little bit closer in the odds because Zellhuber is just like people like him don't like. I don't know, man. Like, yeah, he had a good fight in Noche. Yeah, cool fight of the night, fight of the year, whatever. He showed durability, showed veracity, showed output. But King Green, like, unless you're Jim Miller, King Green's probably not going to put on a peak performance against you. So I'm going to go Zellhuber. He also has the height and length against King Green, but Zellhuber, if anyone could choke this, it can be Zellhuber, but I do still think he's all right. Let's just hope he, like, seasoned his game and locked in after that loss because his last fight was kind of embarrassing. This one is easy as hell. I think David Martinez is going to beat the dog shit out of Marlon Vera. I just think Marlon Vera is low output. I feel like Marlon Vera lacks everything. He lacks urgency. He's really not good, at all. He's never been good to me. He's always been I always said he was the most overrated bantamweight of all time. The fact that he even fought for a title was such privilege because Sugar was giving out shit because Sugar was a kind of a fraudulent champ. I like Sugar though, but this was definitely like, I don't know. Vera is just a really good punching bag. He has durability. He could walk forward, but I just think David Martinez is going to be too much for him. If you're picking Vera in the big 2025, mama, I just don't know why you do this, brother. I think David Martinez via looking stronger, look better, and I just think he's actually going to throw with intent on the feet, and he's going to throw to land, whereas Cheeto's going to just be playing possum, getting punched up, and then maybe throw a shot per round, and a shot per round is not when you fight, so give me Martinez for the win. Vera's going to try to fluke some kind of front kick, and it's just not going to work. Brings us to the main event. I was really confident in this one. I started watching footage, and the more footage I watched, the less confident I got in Moreno. And this one's deep, man, because like I said, I want to keep that 100% main event streak. But I'll say this. Moreno, I've noticed when watching footage, he really... Sometimes you would think Moreno's a lot more active, but lately he's been like kind of on the back foot, waiting for his opponents to throw. His best performance as of late, I think, was actually the Steve Erceg fight, but that's because Steve Erceg backs up with his chin in the air, and then Moreno's favorite weapon is like that switch hook, where he throws something, either a jab and switches into a hook, or just a hook into a switch hook. Kind of like Haikar Fence did to knock out Erceg. Moreno does that all the time in all his fights. That's kind of his favorite entry. And then Loner Kavanagh is like nothing crazy about him, but he could fight when he needs to fight, if that makes sense. Like, he's a little bit scrappy. This could be a good little scrappy session. Like, they could just both be scrapping, I honestly think Loner Kavanagh could steal some early. I think it's going to be closer than people think, honestly. I hate the fact that I think that too. But like, yeah, Moreno just a little bit, I don't know. Something's missing with Moreno lately. It's almost like he doesn't believe in himself. Yes, his last fight was against Tatsuro Taira, who's a primary grappler, so he was able to take him down and submit him. Kavanagh's not going to have that advantage there. It's going to be a primary striking fight. Kavanagh was a huge prospect until he lost to Johnson in his last one. He got finished by him as well. But yeah, if Moreno just shows up, like, he'll win. It'll be closer than people think, but I do think Moreno should get it done, so I am going to go Brandon Moreno on this one. I'm not going to say it's a wicked obvious pick, because I actually think it's closer than some people might make it out to be. And yeah, Kavanagh could actually give him a competitive fight. And not that Kavanagh's great, I just think Moreno's slowly on the decline. I can't lie, I'm not trying to hate. So I'm going to take Brandon Moreno regardless, because I just think he's going to be too much for Kavanagh no matter what. So those are all my picks. If I was to do a parlay, I'd do like a all Mexican main card parlay. I'm talking Moreno, Martinez, Zellhuber, Chairez, Rodriguez, and Luna, brother. This is what I do. 5 Mexican leg. It's called the Mexican sweep. And if you could get that in the main card, dollar, brother. But let me know what you guys think down below. These are my picks. And I know I'm going to keep my 100% main event streak, but this one's unnecessarily, I don't want to say difficult of a prediction, but this one should be easy. But I know Moreno's going to look a little bit but give me Moreno to lock that in. Have a good one, guys. See you later. God bless. 2, 3.